Dusting off the cobwebs. December 5, 2014. So many are on the trek to deliver themselves to inner freedom, yet not everyone understands the necessity to understand how unfree they actually are. If you think you already have a certain quality, then it is quite likely you will not take the time to hone this quality into a mastered skill or art. In your current way of living and being, you are surrounded by false freedom. A kind of freedom that is prettied up with excuses and clever distractions that blur that authenticity of your own actual truth that is underneath all your continuous thoughts, observations, and clarifications and judgments. And let us not forget the importance of having freedom from your reactive and impulsive emotions and feelings, the freedom of actions that have been known to come from the ego and the superficial you. All that is within your psyche does not necessarily demonstrate your authenticity, your genuine goodness of being. You easily become accustomed to any situation that draws your attention, directions that appeal to your egoic narcissistic side, and ends up fooling you into believing that it's okay to stay exactly the same and it's unnecessary to bring in changes, even though they are important for your growth and development. It is hard for many dear souls to turn their backs on the many temptations and distractions that are presented throughout the day, as it takes a great deal of commitment to remain firm and to continue moving forward, making every effort to achieve any goal, dream or ambition. If you take the time to introspect, you may once in a while observe that your thought forms and way of living and being have been clouded and misrepresent the authenticity of your own true nature. It is vital to your ability to give yourself inner freedom, and to recognize the thoughts and emotions that come from quick responses, rash reactions, and the sudden urges, passions and the links and mental connections that have been created from the egoic side of your being. It is your mental and emotional bewilderment that provides the biggest distractions. Your mental and emotional chatter and imagery constantly badgers you. It is rarely quiet and definitely absent of peace and calm to the point your own living reality becomes obscured. This is when meditation becomes a most healing and precious gift, as it offers you the opportunity to calm the busyness of your mind and brings peace into your consciousness, and the simple act of meditation, dear ones, brings your entire being for that moment closer to the freedom your inner self has been yearning for. Try to think about the many interactions you have throughout the day, including the times you give yourself for nourishment of mind and body. Are you present in every conversation, and in every activity is your whole self present, or are you representing a fractured version of yourself? If a delicious-looking pie or cake was sitting in front of you, would you devour it with your eyes? Would you linger over its delicate flavors as you begin to consume it, or would you eat it as if starved yet without barely tasting a crumb of its creation? If you are confronted by an angry person, one who is filled with insults, do you become vindictive with rage and begin shouting back the same obscenities, or are you able to respond kindly and with compassion? Do you become angry, or has the feeling of anger become angry? When doubt enters your mind, do you instantly become insecure and allow its entry to infiltrate into other aspects of your thinking and love-giving heart? The confirmation of your worth, do you only see and feel it only from the praises received or not received from those around you or closest to you? All these questions, and more that you can think of, each one provides more than one possible answer depending on the circumstance that is being addressed. And each answer is important as it helps to bridge understanding to your inner person. As you can quickly conclude, your mind comes to many variable responses depending on what has provoked or stimulated it. Any kind of response that is automatic and predictable is an indication of a lack of inner freedom. Remember, when you respond reactively and automatically, it is not you that is responding, but the preconditioned aspect of you, the part of you that is created by habits, egoic tendencies, and sometimes old memories that you have been holding on to. When you realize that your reactions are not coming from your authentic self, that in truth you are subjective to your own personality's collection of responses and reactions, clarity then becomes known, and growth and development soon follows. If you are looking to give your inner person some freedom, then, dear ones, it is important to take the time to reflect, to look from within and make the necessary changes to your personality that would serve your trueness best, choices that would demonstrate your love-filled heart in action that becomes as automatic as each breath you take. Remember, the I is not who you are, regardless how many times you label your actions, I will do this, or that, or I have done this, I want to do that, and other areas where you apply I. When you use I, try to keep in mind, dear ones, that it merely represents the structure of your personality and characteristics. It does not demonstrate your inner free, central core, where your will is unified with God's will, light, love, and grace. When you are able to identify a lack of inner freedom within yourself, it can be shocking and immensely uncomfortable. For many, being confronted with this lacking in their own inner being, finds such knowledge, even though truthful, will go against what they believed. Their belief system comes to a crashing halt. All they once believed in suddenly becomes changed, different, and unknown. The best thing is that once you recognize the clarity of this truth, you will begin to see it in other areas of your life, and you will begin to understand how much you have lacked in freedom up to now. Coming to the realization that you have not been living from your true and authentic self when you thought you had, can create a feeling of hopelessness, a feeling of being lost and without, but in truth what you have is hope. Hope lies in the practice of the inner work you apply each and every day for the progression of the path and journey you are on. To deliver yourself to freedom, dear ones, you will need to commit yourself completely on each and every step. There will be hard work, you will need to be persistent and devoted, not to mention compassionate towards the inner work you are going to apply in order to free yourself from the slavery you have bound yourself to, from old ways of living and being, from old belief systems, and enter your entire being into the healing and silent presence where your true and authentic freedom has been waiting. The very first step into inner freedom is to comprehend that your precious heart and busy mind will follow their own habituated routes. The entourage of your automatic emotional reactions and responses, what you have used for so long to represent who you are, is important to see, so you can begin to make the necessary changes in order to bring about freedom that will affect every aspect of your inner and outer being. To be able to see your own inner situation clearly and to accept the truth that lies there that encourages new changes and new directions, will help you move on to the path of redemptive freedom. Understandably, dear ones, this cannot happen all at once, as you must move through each step as a process, a gradual process that is filled with many learning and growing opportunities that will keep you busy for years to come, but offer you endless experiences that will provide understanding of your inner and outer actions. The more you dust off the cobwebs of what once was, the more room you will have for the simple joys life has to offer. And so it is. I am Ascended Master, Serapis Bey, through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com